Good morning everyone, my name is Michelle. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to another video. It is Tuesday morning and that sun is very bright this morning. I want to address Kiely Rodni's mother one more time. It's actually a comment she made on Saturday that I didn't address yesterday, and I wish I'd done, and in hindsight I wish I'd just put it all together in one video, but I didn't. I brushed over this particular comment, so I'm going to address it today in its own video. I think the majority of people in my comment section who watched yesterday's video and commented on it agree with me, and and said Kiely's mother is being naive. Some even said ungrateful. Some sympathised with her, but still said, she's blaming the wrong people, and I couldn't agree more. Some of you, though, said leave the family alone. She's grieving. I know she is. I'm part of the same club. I'm part of the same club. I know she's grieving. Although there's not a right or wrong way to grieve, there are healthy and unhealthy ways to grieve. And I think she's heading towards an unhealthy grief process. And again, I addressed most of what she said yesterday, but I missed this, and I wish I commented on it then, so I'll do it now. She said, there's honour in silence and there's kindness in minding your own business. I addressed the minding your own business part, but there's honour in silence part, I didn't. And she is dead wrong. She is dead wrong. That's at best a very, very naive statement. There's no honour in silence. None. Silence keeps the missing lost. Silence lets crimes go unpunished. Sometimes for years, sometimes forever. Silence is something you do when you've got a secret. If you've got nothing to hide, then you can tell your truth. It's neither honourable nor dishonourable, it's just the truth. But if you think there's honour in silence, then what you're doing, whether you mean it or not, is you are contributing to a conspiracy of silence. When Kiely was missing, imagine if no one had spoken up. Imagine if everyone stayed silent. Yesterday I said that if social media had been kind, in her words, and minded our own business, Adventures with Purpose would never have gone to Truckee, California, and found Kiely 14 feet under at the bottom of Prosser Reservoir. If it wasn't for social media, Kiely's family would still have no answers, and Kiely's mother would still be tearfully pleading for people to come forward. Did she think there was honour in silence then, when she was pleading for people to come forward? No. She only thinks that now that people are talking about foul play. And I understand. I do. I understand that the wilder speculations, people who were saying that her daughter wasn't real and that her pain isn't real and they're all actors. I understand her being upset about those things. But to make a blanket statement and say there's honour in silence, again, is naive at best. But it's dangerous because, you know, it's teaching those teens that she is supporting so much. It's teaching them that silence is the thing that they should do. It's the type of attitude that we see in insular communities. It's the type of statement we see and the belief that we see in communities where secrets keep people safe, but they keep the missing lost and they prevent crimes from being punished. The reason why I've got a bunch of people on my thumbnail, in addition to Kiely and her mother, is that all of these people, plus many, many more, are missing or murdered. Michael Vaughan, Summer Wells, Lena Sadar-Keel, Cody Bigsby, and a bunch of other children and adults who are missing, who have been missing for months, going into years. There are people out there whose cases are cold, whose families have got absolutely no idea what happened to them. But you can bet your bottom dollar that in the vast majority of those cases, somebody knows something. Somebody saw something. Somebody's scared of coming forward. They believe that there's honour in silence. A culture of honour that keeps crimes unpunished and the missing lost. A culture of honour that is misplaced. It keeps their world separate than the rest of the world. It serves injustice. In Michael Vaughan's case, an abducted little boy from Fruitland, Idaho, his family are desperate for answers. Somebody knows something, if it's only the person who abducted Michael. But I would imagine that it's more than that. It's people perhaps close to the abductor who suspect something. In Summer's case, somebody knows something. Maybe that's her family who know the truth. Maybe that's members from the wider community who don't like outsiders, who'd rather lie and tell stories online than tell the truth, who knows something. In Olivia Pratt-Corbell's case, just 28 miles in that direction, Olivia was murdered, an innocent victim. Her family, nothing to do with the gang culture that's rife in the area. And the police can't make headway, although the public are assisting them as much as they can. The persons responsible for Olivia's murder are not talking. They've arrested a bunch of people and bailed them out because the no comment culture in those gangs has just closed down justice. And that's a 9-year-old girl murdered in her own home, gunned down in her own home. Is there honour in silence? Absolutely not. Is there honour in silence in Michael's case, in Summer's case, in the cases of all of the other missing people, the thousands of missing people, most of whom someone will know something? Yeah, there are cases of missing people who, just drive into lakes or they fall down ravines. They go missing when hiking and get attacked by wild animals, and genuinely no one else was involved. And yeah, nobody knew anything. And if Kiely Rodni's death was purely an accident, and every single one of those teens at that party at the sanctuary next to Prosser Campground genuinely saw nothing and didn't know that Kiely accidentally had driven off the road, and they've told everything they know to law enforcement, which isn't much because they didn't see anything, and the worst that happened was underage drinking and drug taking. The worst that happened was Kiely drove drunk and unfortunately went the wrong way and drove herself into a lake, and genuinely no one else was involved. Again, Kiely would still be there. Her family would still be appealing for people to come forward, fearing she'd been abducted or trafficked or murdered. When Kiely was missing, they said point blank that she wouldn't drink and drive, that she was a sensible girl. She texted her mother, telling her she was going to be a little bit late. Her friends, family feared that she'd been abducted because she was so sensible. She wouldn't drink and drive. But now she's been found by social media. Her mother's changed her tune because perhaps, yeah, she's grieving. She does not want to think about the foul play that she so badly feared, because perhaps it's easier to imagine that she had an accident, and the teens that she's supporting, all of them are innocent. All of them need a safe space. And people should just shut up and go away, because it's easier to think that it was an accident. Even if it wasn't, it would be easier for law enforcement to just close the case and say it was an accident. It would be easier for the family because there'd be no court case to drag out for potentially years. But there would be no justice in that. If it was foul play, there would be absolutely no justice in that. And Kiely would be one of the many, many other people whose crimes go unpunished. She wasn't one of the missing who, due to a conspiracy of silence, stayed lost. She wasn't one of those. She was one that was recovered, but only because of social media. Only because social media made noise. Only because the supporters of Adventures with Purpose, those YouTube watchers who got in touch with Adventures with Purpose, many of them got in touch. And it was the social media noise and the donations from people who watched their YouTube videos that enabled Adventures with Purpose, who had the skill, the expertise to go there and find Kiely at Prosser Reservoir in 35 minutes. Whereas over 2 weeks of searching, umpteen searches of Prosser Lake, of law enforcement telling Adventures with Purpose, we've searched there, she's not there. Adventures with Purpose searched there anyway and found her within 35 minutes. Social media did that by enabling those guys who did have the skill and expertise to go there, through their support, their donations, just watching their videos, getting them higher up in the algorithm. Social media did that. Social media found your daughter. So why, Lindsay, do you think that there is an honour in silence? Why do you think that there's an honour in silence when thousands of people go missing each year? silence keeps communities insular, which you might favour. But it means when bad things occur, the outside world is kept out. The justice system is kept out. And crimes go unpunished. So is it more honourable to keep that silence? Or is it more honourable to come forward and tell the truth? Which is it? Is it more honourable to keep silent when you know that injustice is occurring? When you know something? When you suspect something? When you see something is not right? Is it more honourable to just keep your mouth shut and mind your own business? Or is it more honourable to speak up, even if you get criticised for it, even if you get punished for it? Is it more honourable to speak up for justice? For Kiely, for Michael, for Summer, for Lena, for Cody, for Jolissa, for all of the people out there missing? And what about the people who have been murdered, like Olivia, whose killers will not speak up? The supporters, the gang members of those killers will not allow people to speak up. People are too scared to speak up. Is that honour? Nah, that's fear. There's honour in coming forward despite fear. There's honour in coming forward despite what your friends might say, what your community might say. There's honour in coming forward even if there's a danger to yourself. To support justice, to support the person whose life has been taken. And we don't know. We don't know that Kiely isn't one of those. We don't know if foul play was involved in Kiely's case. I see things that don't look right. I see things that need answers. I see things that need an explanation. I see things that look like injustice. So is there honour in me staying silent? No, not at all. Not at all. You might think that it'd be kinder if I minded my own business. No. Respectfully, I disagree. But let me know what you think in the comments below. I've been Michelle. Hope you're well. See you in the next video. Goodbye from Miss Tillington and Miss Cassie Springer. I'm not interested in saying goodbye today. Not at all. Bye, guys.